Welcome back to Inside the Hive. I'm Ryan Imbrock. With me today on the show is head men's lacrosse coach Ryan Kuhn. Ryan, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Describe the process that brought you to Defiance.
Well, before I accepted the position at Defiance, I was coaching at the College of Mount St. Vincent in Riverdale, which is the Bronx in New York. And in that time, it was always a goal of mine to kind of take that next step in my coaching career to become a head men's lacrosse coach. When the opportunity opened up at Defiance College, I applied for it. I'm kind of familiar with the territory. I also coached at Hendrix College in Arkansas, so we did play some teams that were in Indiana, Ohio.
Okay.
So it was definitely an area of the country that I had some familiarity with and I seemed to like, and I thought that it would be a good transition and something that I could see myself doing for the long term.
Great. Now, this is not your first experience launching a brand new lacrosse program. Does that previous experience help you here at Defiance?
Well, yes, it does. It really does help me a lot because, while I was there, I was an assistant coach, so I got to learn the ins and outs of from the head coaching aspect from Jeremy Lishtig, who was the head men's lacrosse coach at Hendrix College. Okay. Learning from him, got to see, kind of what to do and how to go about, obviously getting the name out there of a brand new program, reaching out to kids, reaching out to, non-traditional hotbeds such as, Long Island, Maryland, upstate New York, those areas. So, learning from him and kind of, honing in my recruiting pitch, I was able to kind of, learn a little bit more of the ins and outs of, that.
So how much of that recruiting pitch can you incorporate here at Defiance?
Well, a lot of it, there is a lot of crossover since, recruiting at Defiance, it's a brand new program. There are a ton of kids and there's a ton of talent in Ohio, in Indiana, in Kentucky, and in the neighboring states. So it definitely crosses over. I still have a lot of relationships with coaches in those areas. So I think that, once I get the name out of it for the college and the program and, the wonderful things we're doing here at Defiance, I think it'll definitely help us and help the program.
Now, what are some of the main challenges that you see, when you start a new program from scratch? We've never had lacrosse. So what are some of the main challenges that face you now?
Well, some of the main challenges are pretty obvious, obviously getting the name out there. Reaching out to kids that might not know, basically where Defiance is, might not know that they've even started a program. With the internet now, it's easy to find out which programs are starting new programs, but ultimately, kind of just getting the name out there, putting a face to the program, and explaining to kids, like, what's going on here, what facilities we have, and what the administration and the college is putting behind the program.
Now, as far as I understand, Northwest Ohio is not a hotbed for the lacrosse program. So where do you have to search for different players?
Well, my recruiting philosophy for the program is kind of like an inside-out philosophy. Okay. You recruit within the state of Ohio while not limiting yourself to other areas. There's a ton of lacrosse in the state of Indiana. Michigan, just north of us, that they also have a ton of high school talent. Okay. And while I'm doing that and reaching out to those programs, I'm also going to be reaching out to those main hotbeds. Your Long Islands, your upstates, New Yorks, your Pennsylvanias, your New Jerseys, and your Marylands.
Now, starting a new program, what do you tell the students coming in or the student athletes coming in, what to expect for their 4 years here?
I'm coming from where I've been. I like to set the bar high. Okay. I like to set high expectations. Our goal from day one is to compete for a conference championship. Obviously academics comes first, and that's what we're all here for. But that doesn't put a limit on what we want to do. We certainly want to win.
Now you played D3. Were successful. How does being a successful player in D3 help you as a D3 coach?
Well, a lot of it just comes with managing expectations and managing time. We're well aware that while there is your certain times for practices, your weightlifting, your conditioning, these students also have a life outside of sports. They're doing their extracurricular activities for the college. They're doing internships. They're and obviously they're doing their schoolwork. So there's a lot of things that go into it. While we will put a big emphasis on them, focusing on lacrosse, we also don't want to hinder them from kind of enriching themselves as a total student athlete, and we want to embrace that.
Coach, here's your chance to tell the audience out there what they can expect from Defiance College lacrosse.
You can expect a competitive team from day one. We're gonna expect a lot out of the guys, and we expect a lot as a coaching staff and as an institution. We want to strive for great student athletes in the classroom and also on the field. You know, our main goal is to compete for a conference championship and get to the NCAAs.
Thanks, Coach. Glad to see you. Glad to have you on the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, that does it for this episode of Inside the Hive. For more information on men's lacrosse, go to defianceathletics.com, click on sports, find men's lacrosse, and you can get all the updates there.